Alright, here we have a question about volume, and we've got 4 marks here that are available for the maths and the volume part, and 2 marks which are for your organisation, communication and the accuracy of your writing. So the organisation part comes down to you splitting it up into cuboid A, cuboid B and showing all your working out, and the accuracy of writing comes down to you using your units and generally making life easy for the examiner so he knows that you know what you're doing. Alright, so the 2 cuboids shown below have equal volumes. That means the volume of A is equal to the volume of B. So we need to calculate these volumes. So I'm going to start with cuboid A. Now be aware your spelling is really important, as is your grammar and things. So if in doubt, I'm looking in the question for the word that I'm trying to write, and there's the word cuboid, so I've spelled cuboid right. So cuboid A, volume equals, now the volume is the area times by the depth when we're dealing with a prism, and this is a prism because it's a 3D shape with this cross-sectional shape, this rectangle going all the way through it. If I was to slice this like a loaf of bread, I would have that rectangular slice going all the way through. So the area of this rectangular slice is 2 times 3, which would be 6 centimetres squared. And I have that going through this 6 times. So I've got 6 lots of that cross-sectional area. However, the formula I'm going to use here, because it's a cuboid, is 2 times 3, which would give me that 6. And then times by the depth, which is also 6. So that's going to equal 36 centimetres cubed. Centimetres cubed because it's volume. Area, centimetres squared. Length, centimetres. Volume, centimetres cubed. Now I've found the volume of cuboid A, I'm going to move on to cuboid B. And I'm looking at the volume. So the volume of cuboid B, again, I'll calculate the area of the cross-section first. They've coloured this side in. 2 times h would be 2h. So that's the area. And then I would times that by the 2 centimetres of depth. So volume equals 2 times h times 2. And 2 times 2 is 4, times by h is 4h. And that's volume, so that's also centimetres cubed. Now please be aware that is very different from 4h cubed. That is not the same thing at all. Centimetres cubed is the units, and using the units is going to get you this accuracy of writing mark. Alright, so now I've made my statement of what I believe the volume of cuboid A is and the volume of cuboid B. I'm going to honour this statement in the question where they've said that they've got equal volumes. So I'm going to say that 4h, which is the volume of B, is equal to 36, which is the volume of A. And then I'm going to solve it to find h, so I need to divide that 4 away, leaving me with h equals 36 divided by 4, which is 9. And because it's a length, it's just centimetres. So there's that question answered. And looking at the 2 communication marks first, I've set my work out so it's nice and clear. There's cuboid A, volume, cuboid B, volume, formulas shown, units used. That would get me my 2 communication marks because all my units are there and it's an easy piece of work to follow. For the maths, if you were looking at where the marks are allocated, you're going to get 1 mark for having either that or that. Be aware it is or. So essentially you get 1 mark for showing that you know how to calculate an area of something. You get the 2nd mark then for showing, I do it in pink, the actual calculation that you used. Okay, and that assumes or implies that you got the answer right, because one of them is going to have to be correct for you to get the formula correct. So there's your 2 marks there in calculating the volume. Your 3rd mark is then for making this statement over here, because you've shown that they are equal to each other. And then finally you get the mark for 9 centimetres, which is your answer mark. If you only put 9 centimetres down, you'd only get 1 mark for this whole question. Please be aware that because I've laid it out like this, cuboid A volume equals, if I didn't know how to calculate the volume and I got a random answer there, and also calculated this incorrectly and got a different answer there, as long as, when I move over to this phase, I put my cuboid B volume equals my cuboid A volume, at that point I can start picking up my method marks again because I've shown very clearly where those answers have come from. Alright, so that would get me my 4 plus 2, and that's probably the easiest 6 marks that are going to be on that paper.